Hello, and welcome again, everybody, to another episode of Cutthroat Research. I'm Ryan, and I'm here with my friend Tyler.
Hey, everybody.
And we're going to go over, once again, a few more spoilers. I know we've been doing that for the past few weeks, but there's another small handful of spoilers that have come out since the last episode. So we're going to go through those pretty quickly, and then jump over to a Keyforge announcement that Tyler discovered. I haven't been able to watch the video yet. I've been pretty busy, but he knows about some new information supposed to be getting leaked at the end of September. Probably wrap it up with a little bit of discussion about our tournament later today. We're doing a sealed event for one of the Sanctum playmats. So that's the plan for today, and we'll probably just get right into it. I know we're trying to keep it on a decent time frame compared to the other weeks being like 50 plus minutes long.
Yeah. So you want to go over some of the new cards first?
Yeah, we can hop right in if you're ready to. Didn't know if there's any other pre-announcements or anything, pre-episode mentions, but otherwise we can jump right into it. I know you got the list already pulled up.
Yeah, they've been really letting these loose pretty fast.
Yeah, they're consistent. Like every week I feel like there's another, just a handful. It's still, for us, it's 20-30 minutes of content easily every week that's been coming out. Some of them have been more, but once again we get another wave. We're gonna start off with the new houses first, I believe. So we'll start with the Saurians, of course, the Roman dinosaurs.
Yes. So they spoiled a couple more. Right here it looks this guy is called Draco Praco. Draco Praco.
That's interesting.
He's a politician. Very important subtext there.
Gotcha.
It's an uncommon in Saurian, 4 power, no armor, and he has a reap effect. The reap is you may exalt Draco Praco. If you do, choose a house and enrage each creature of that house.
And enrage each creature. Wow, that's actually pretty strong. I feel like it's a little bit on the situational side just because it has like such a specific window. But overall, like I wouldn't feel bad about having this card in my deck.
It's a May too.
Yeah.
So it doesn't force you into it. It's a good. I mean, if your opponent just laid down a bunch of cards they want to reap with.
Right. You just play that turn 1, and they play like a giant Brobnar turn 2, or a Shadows turn with a bunch of little guys that they're trying to use for a setup. You're just like, all right, all your Shadow guys have to fight now.
It also kind of makes your opponent think about building a more control-oriented board.
Yeah, if you have it on the field before they start playing cards, they have to play based on the idea that you might do that to them, and that's just adding another layer of skill to the game in general. I like it. I think it's a great card. Yep.
All right, then we have Dexters Sorrow. It's another creature in Saurian, another uncommon, another politician, and this one has deploy and a play effect. Ready and exalt each of Orator. Oh, it's Orator, not Trader. Orator Hisarro's neighbors. For the remainder of the turn, they belong to House Saurian.
That's pretty good.
So you're putting Amber on his neighbors at the cost of them being able to be used that turn.
Yep. And depending on how you set up your board, that can be game breaking.
And it readies them.
Yep.
So if they are already Saurian, you could just use 2 more creatures that turn.
Exactly. Or if your cards get it's not Nature's Call. There's the Untamed card that exhausts your creatures. It just helps you get through some of those cards that
yes,
exhaust your things. Deploying that out, using it on
Nocturnal Maneuver.
Nocturnal Maneuver. That's the card. I know that in Nature's Call I always mix up because they do the same. They do 3 targets, and their effects are just different. I don't like I don't hate the card at all. I think it's super solid. It's gonna be good based on decks that have more creatures that can reap or fight for significant benefit. If you have that with a lot of cards with actions or not many creatures, it'll be a little underwhelming. But overall, solid card, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's fast.
Yes.
It creates speed as long as you have the cards to back it up. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it advances you forward by a decent margin if you have the board to synergize with it. This card.
This is a pretty cool card. It is an uncommon in Saurian as well. It's Gargantodon. He's a 16 power creature with no armor. He enters play stunned. He only deals 4 damage when fighting. And each amber that would be stolen is captured by a creature controlled by the active player instead.
That seems like a 1-card answer to Shadows. In itself, being 16 power, it's really hard for Shadows to kill that. Shadows usually don't have the strongest creatures outside of Yantzee Gang and some of those like 5 power creatures, but a lot of their creatures are really small to play into the Shadows archetype house. One thing that's interesting, the artwork's phenomenal, but it is only a beast. This is not a dinosaur creature like most of the Saurian creatures are.
That is correct.
That's something to point out. It's interesting. I mean, I don't know if they're going to have cards that interact directly with dinosaurs, but I'm sure, doing stuff to, stunning all cards of one house or one type specifically, it gets around that. So I like the idea that they didn't make it a dinosaur, but you almost expect it to be by looking at the artwork.
If Might Makes Right is in this set,
oh my god, yeah.
I'm going to be very excited.
16, then you just need 8 with Brobnar. You could just do that all in one turn if you do this early.
So I'm a fan.
Very much so. He's huge.
All right, next is Favor of Rex. It is an action in Saurian. It is a rare with an amber bonus, and its play effect is trigger the play effect of a creature as if you had just played it.
I love this card. I read this card and immediately just thought, like, man, this can go so well with so many different cards. Like, I think it's going to be genuinely difficult to have this in your deck and feel bad about it being in your deck.
The art is great because it is a dinosaur chasing another dinosaur's wing.
Yeah. And it looks like that dinosaur has a cane or something in his other hand. He's just like pimping out. That's great.
This is a strong card.
I mean, imagine using that on a
time traveler.
Exactly, a time traveler, or a man. What's the card I was thinking of? A charade. Capture 6 now, like 3 and 3. That's granted it's not on the same turn, but if someone's at 6 or 7 amber about to get a key, you charade them, and then they build themselves back up, and you just play this and let the charade trigger again. Like,
a good question though. Say you're playing this card and your opponent has charade. What side do they capture from? Because it says as if you had just played it.
That's true. You could target their creatures. It doesn't say a creature you control.
Yeah.
So
that would be kind of cool if they capture from their own side and then you kill that charade.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
You get your amber back plus theirs, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't really feel like delving into that right now, but
that's a good thing to bring up. That's a very good thing to bring up. That didn't even cross my mind. So I'm glad I randomly spewed out charade as an option.
I know they said that they're gonna have a more comprehensive rules document. On their Crucible cast today, they were talking about that. So that should be coming in the next month with a timing chart. They're very excited about the timing chart.
Okay.
It says it's going to lead to more concise rulings among players themselves without going higher.
Right, and not having to go to a Facebook page and try and blast everybody and wait for the 100 responses.
Yeah.
Of every single response being a different resolution somehow. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But that'll be good. That's something for all of us to look forward to. And the entire community is just waiting patiently as they can for this rule set release. But this card, hopefully they're prepared for this new set too, and they can answer. I want the new rule set that comes out to be able to answer cards and ruling questions from this set as well. So hopefully it just answers everything going forward.
I have faith it will.
I do have faith that it will. I'm just
like someone brought up with Gargantodon in one of the groups. If the active player doesn't have creatures out, where does the amber go? Because it says instead. So it's like if you can't capture, does nothing happen?
Or does it just go to like the common supply or whatever, right?
Or does nothing change at all?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure they're going to answer that in the rules document.
Sure, yeah.
And I mean, with both sets so far, they've had, upon like official release, like within a week, like FAQs and erratas,
right,
of anything that might need them.
Right, anything that doesn't make sense. And we saw what Drummernaut or Gengar Chieftain, one of them got errated before the set even came out.
Drummernaut, yeah. Got errated. Preset to avoid exploits.
More exploits.
All right, now we have Regrettable Meteor. It's an action in Saurian with an amber bonus. It's an uncommon, and its play effect is destroy each dinosaur creature and each creature with power 6 or higher.
Oh, that's great. I think that card is awesome. The artwork's actually amazing. I really like that red ring around the image.
I think the quote's amazing because it just says "not again."
Not again. Oh, because the meteor.
Oh, the artwork's actually really cool because this is an eye.
Yeah, so it's like an image reflecting off of an eye.
I like that.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think the card effect is good. It's gonna be really good. It's better early game, but it's also a great counter board wipe when you get board wiped.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I like it.
Yep. Yeah, no complaints. And what did you say was a rare?
It is an uncommon.
An uncommon. Okay, so we'll see it fairly often.
Yeah, it'll be around.
Seems good.
All right, the last of the Saurian spoils, Imperial Scutum. It is an upgrade with an amber bonus. This creature gets +2 armor and gains destroyed. Move each amber on this creature to the common supply.
See, that card is what makes me think of the 16 power. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Gigantodon thing. Like, this specifically says it goes to the common supply. So going back to your ruling question with where does it go if it says instead, I'm interested to see how that'll play out. But overall...
Well, I think this is just like it gets rid of the negative of exalting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true too. The 2 armor.
Or if you have capture, it'll, instead of going back to your opponent, it'll just go away.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think it's a perfect time for that to come in with Sanctum going out. Because with that I think this card with Sanctum would be too powerful.
Really?
I mean, imagine it on like a Gatekeeper.
Yeah.
After you took 6 amber or something, and then okay, they're
well,
all...
I mean, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of upgrade answers. We already have some.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of
set
upgrades
2.
in the Star Alliance set 2, which is
3,
where we're
I
gonna
feel
go
like
to next.
they have to answer it
Definitely.
because we have a lot of upgrades in this upcoming set.
Absolutely, I think this is definitely the most upgrades in a single set, right? This new one, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, for sure.
So we're gonna move on to Star Alliance. We're just taking a second to hunt down the first card on the
Yeah.
list. I think Tyler pulled it up.
I believe we didn't go over this guy yet, but this is Navigator Ali. It is an uncommon in Star Alliance with 3 power, no armor. And his effect is play, fight, reap. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them back in any order.
I don't hate the effect. It's a little underwhelming because in a perfect world you want to play as many cards from your hand as you can. So if you're going to draw 3 cards, that effect does nothing. You're going to draw the cards regardless. But if you're trying to win the game and they have just enough amber and they're about to get their last key and you need to get one specific card, I think in that regard it's a very strong card. I mean, why wouldn't you use it every turn when you can? But yeah, definitely, I just feel like there's going to be a handful of times where you're like, well, I'm going to draw all 3 of these anyway, so reaping for the amber is really all this card will do.
I think it's good because even if rearranging them might not be the most impactful play all the time, knowing what you're going to draw into
changes your play for the
turn.
turn.
Will change the rest of your turn.
Yeah, that's true as well. Overall, pretty good.
I don't hate him.
Yeah, I don't hate him. Doesn't feel as strong as other cards, but I don't hate him.
Now we have Psi Officer Kincan. He's got 3 types. He is a alien, a proxy man, and a scientist.
Proxy man, interesting.
He's a common with 2 power, no armor, elusive, and after a player chooses an active house which matches no cards in play, steal 1 amber.
Oh, okay. This is interesting. I feel like this is another more on the situational side, but it can definitely have its uses. But with board wipes and stuff, it's pretty strong. Or any kind of removal. This card synergizes great with removal.
Yeah, I mean, but this works for you too.
Yeah. Oh, a player, true.
Yeah, so you
so
play
it's really
something,
good turn
steal
1.
1. They play something, you still steal 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad.
Yeah, that makes it a lot better when it's not just your opponent. It's a good turn 1 play too, because if it's the only Star Alliance card you have, then the next potentially 2-3 turns are all going to be stealing, other than your opponent's first turn, because obviously there's nothing to steal.
I think this is cool because it sets a precedence of, rather than targeted steal, it's reactionary. So instead of playing a card that you know is going to steal right away, it's like a passive effect that might steal amber.
Right, this could steal over and over again depending on
I don't think we've seen a lot of steal effects that are
that aren't directly steal X amount, do X thing, or yeah.
Or if this happens, steal.
Right. There's a prerequisite effect on the board that'll just trigger by default when something happens. And I think we're going to see more cards like that as the game continues. Those kind of cards usually end up being really strong.
For sure. All right, now we have Information Officer Gray. It looks like an uncommon in Star Alliance. 4 power, no armor, play, fight, reap. You may reveal a non-Star Alliance card from your hand. If you do, archive it.
Oh, archiving any card that isn't Star Alliance? That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
And Play Fight Reap. I think this card's phenomenal. I really like this
card.
card.
This is a good card.
Yeah, I really like that. Everything about it is strong. It's a 4 power. Like 3 and 4 for me, 3 doesn't feel like strong, but it feels sturdy. 4 is what makes a card like strong when it comes to power. I think that's like the lowest that's like feasible for like fighting and interacting with the other player's board. So yeah, it checks all the boxes in my book. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
The artwork is pretty good too. I think it should be more of an explosion rather than smoke in the background, but the artwork's good.
He looks like he's MIB. Like,
yeah.
erasing all other.
There's just no aliens nearby.
Oh, I think they're all aliens.
Oh, those are. I didn't even see those. Those just look like rounded shadows. They look like balls or something. That's funny.
All right, now we have Cloaking Dongle.
Cloaking.
It is an upgrade in Star Alliance. It's a common with an amber bonus. This creature and each of its neighbors gain elusive.
They gave Laminder's effect to an upgrade for Star Alliance, and you get an amber for it.
Yeah.
No complaints.
Because, I mean,
no complaints,
have
no
deploy.
comment. Yeah, that's
because you can put
free
them
as
in.
well. Exactly. It's Lamindra on an upgrade. That's so good. The only time it's not good is if you don't have any creatures to put it on.
Yeah.
Even if you have one creature, you just put it on that, and the next turn start playing creatures next to it. Like, whatever. It doesn't really...
Yeah.
This is phenomenal. I like it. I think it's pretty great. Another upgrade for Star Alliance.
All right. Here's a Star Alliance action. It's called Xeno Training. It is an uncommon. It gives you an amber bonus, and its play effect is for each house represented among friendly creatures, a friendly creature captures 1.
So one creature captures all of it, but it's up to the number of friendly creatures for each different house. That's pretty good. I mean, it has a max capture of 3, but capturing 3 never feels awful.
It doesn't say max 3. So it
well,
doesn't.
if you get cards from your opponent's field
or if you have experimental therapy, it belongs to all houses.
Oh, true that.
Which means currently 9.
That's if that.
Also, can we just talk about how experimental therapy will
That's
just
great.
get better as the game goes on?
Because of more houses coming out.
At one point, is experimental therapy just going to make something belong to 22 houses?
Right, and
or
then
like
cards
something
like
ridiculous?
this will capture all 25 of you. Dang, that's great. You heard it here first, folks. Experimental therapy. Start collecting them.
In set 12, experimental therapy is going to be
the number
the
one
secret
card.
tech. Everyone's going to be trying to buy out the old out-of-print Call of Archons to get experimental therapy.
I don't need no library access. I don't need no bait and switch.
All right. Next is... Oh, that was the last one for Star Alliance.
Moving on to Logos next, it looks like. But yeah, I mean, I think there were more Saurian releases or leaks in the past week than the Star Alliance. I feel like we went through a little bit more.
Because what they did is they gave certain content creators some stuff to preview, and they played a couple games on Fantasy Flight Live. Like they had I don't know if you saw it, they had a smoothie game.
No.
It was Brad and another FFG employee played with 2 decks from set 3. Okay. And whenever they forged a key, they would add that color Fanta to the smoothie. And then they would choose they had an assortment of they had sweet potatoes and Oreos and a bunch of gross stuff.
Oh god!
And the person who forged would add
something gross to their
choice. No, it was just one smoothie. The loser had to drink it.
Oh god!
It was entertaining.
That's pretty good. I like that idea. That's cool.
All right.
On Logos.
Logos, we have an uncommon creature, C. And then what's the name for the AE letter?
I don't remember.
C.AE.N.D.L.E. unit. Candle unit.
Yeah, candle with the amber instead of the part of the A. Candle unit.
It's
artwork's cool.
5 power, 1 armor, beefy boy.
Robot.
After an enemy creature reaps, draw a card, and has action capture 1. This thing is sweet.
Yeah, the action's underwhelming, but at this point it's icing on the cake. After an enemy creature reaps, draw a card is amazing.
This is just
it
gives me grabber jammer feels, even the art.
It's a souped up Doc Bookton in my book. I don't have to use it. I just don't let you do things.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think it's great.
And
it's a robot as well for its type, if anyone's curious, but solid card. Absolutely. No complaints here.
And that was it. That was the only logo spoil that's new. But that's okay.
Excuse me. All right, we're gonna hunt down some other cards. We just got like the whole list on the website right now, so we're cycling through the houses to see. I know there weren't too many new cards after the two new houses, but we're gonna double check, and then if not, we'll move on to the next topics of the day.
Did we do Trust No One?
Yes, we did.
Did we do Mug?
Yes, we did.
All right. All right. Here's some.
I was gonna say I know there were a couple
Some
discards.
dis.
All right, so for the record, we skipped Untamed and we skipped Shadows because there were no new releases since last week.
I believe there were no new ones.
Yeah.
So in dis, we have Harbinger of Doom. It is a 2-power, 3-armor creature. It is a common demon with a destroyed effect. Destroy each creature.
The fact that it's a destroyed effect doesn't feel great, but the fact that it's a common board wipe. A lot of the board wipes are common, but this is a common board wipe. It's a creature. I think it's great. I think it's exactly the kind of card that Dis would have. It fits like the house very well. The fact that it's a destroyed effect, I feel like Dis commonly have good destroyed effects. And the fact, like I said, the fact that it's a board wipe means that your opponent seeing that on the board, they're gonna have to think about that every single time they make a turn.
Yeah, this kid in the art doesn't listen to his parents.
Oh no, he's getting involved in something crazy.
This is a creepy stranger with a demon mask and an alien balloon, and he's got some candy, and this kid's all about it.
Yeah, I'm sure if that giant creature moved out of the way, there'd be like a black, like unmarked van with no windows behind him, but he looks pretty huge, so he's probably blocking the path.
Yeah.
But pretty neat.
The
card's silly.
I like it. It's a good common.
Absolutely.
This is one that I really liked when I saw it. It is a common. It's an action in Dis with an amber bonus called the Evil Eye. Its play effect is keys cost +3 during your opponent's next turn.
It's a lash on an action. It gives you an amber. How many times do you really lose? How many times do you use lash multiple turns in a row and don't immediately lose because the only reason you called Dis was because you needed to lash?
I mean, you still have to call Dis to use this.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like if you have like 7 amber and I play my Dis turn, I lash you, play my discards, and then I draw, and now I don't have any discards in my hand.
Yeah.
The only way I can stop you from getting that key is lashing you again. And like, granted that this doesn't solve that problem, but the fact that I get to play it from my hand and still draw something off of it.
There are some cards
feels
that
a little bit
let
better.
you play out of house cards.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, I mean,
even that Starlines guy who lets you play a non-Starlines action or artifact.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's
boom.
true. This synergizes with that pretty well. And the fact that it's just a better lashing, like in every aspect. It gives you an amber. It's a play effect, so it's not an artifact that you have to preemptively get ready to use like next turn. It's just as soon as they have 6 or more amber, you're just going to follow up with
this. I really like this card. I don't know if it's a better lash. It's good because it happens the turn you play it.
Yeah, instead of having to set up
lash
for it.
you could keep using, which is really strong.
That's true. The reuse factor of lash. They're both good in their own regard. I'm happy this card exists, though.
I hope there's a playmat for this card.
Oh my god, yeah, that'd be cool.
Good art.
That is great art.
All right, now we have a creature in Dis.
This card effect is amazing.
It's 1 power, no armor. It's EE on the fringes.
Yep, an imp.
It is an imp.
Looks like a spider, though.
It has elusive, and during your turn, after you discard a discard from your hand, you may purge a discard from a discard pile. If you do, steal 1.
And the flavor text, because I have to, is discordant, disturbing, disgusting. Lots of dis.
This card was just made so that you have to explain to your opponent what times you're saying discard and what times you're saying discard.
Yeah, I agree. This was like their way of dabbling into how confusing can we make card text.
Yeah,
but the effect is still
good. Because you have to like give this to your opponent, be like, please just read it.
Yeah, just look at it and tell me you understand it.
You have to discard a discard.
Mm-hmm.
From your discard pile.
I like it a lot. And purging cards, like purging discards in your discard pile, doesn't ever feel like awful either. Like there's a lot of discards that you might not want in your deck after the first or second time you use them if you get through. And stealing one itself is also solid. It's not like you're just purging it for no reason.
If you only have discards in your archive, is that a discard pile?
I mean, yeah.
It's a pile of discards.
Yeah, that would make sense to me. As long as there's more than one, because at least it takes at least 2 cards to be a pile of cards.
The rule of pun will be in effect when this guy's in play.
If someone pulls a deck with like 3 of these, hit me up.
Yeah. It's funny. I like it.
It's elusive too.
The elusive makes it worth it.
Absolutely.
All right, we have this brutal dude who I actually missed somehow with the other previews, but Snag. He's a 5-power creature. He's a demon. Uncommon. Fight. Your opponent must choose a house. Choose the house of the creature that Snag fights as their active house on their next turn.
So Snag attacks a Logos card. Your opponent has to play Logos next turn.
It's a control the weak with extra steps.
Yeah, which is good because Control the Weak is like one of the dumbest cards.
If you have multiple control the weaks, it's insane.
With this, yeah, oh my god. You're just like, all right, control the weak one house, attack the other house. Now you.
Well, no, because this is must choose. So they get to choose out of the two.
Oh, okay, true that, yeah.
It's not cannot.
So it's not like double control the weak.
But if you have this with Restringuntus, you could. Well, no, it doesn't matter because it's must anyway.
Oh, we're all mixed up. What happens when two of these attack two different houses?
They get to choose.
Out of the two?
Yeah, I believe that was how they ruled it.
Okay, yeah, I didn't hear
it's
about
like the
that
same
ruling.
as cannot versus must, or when you have to choose, you get the option. Yeah, you would get the option of
So you're opening up. So you really don't want to have two of these on board at the same time. Two in your deck might not be bad, but having two on board to fight with, you just end up reaping with one and fighting with the other.
Yeah.
I feel like just a little bit. This feels like a little bit of a missed opportunity because I feel like Snag as a card name works better in Shadows. Like I think of like Snag or Snatch and Mug and all the other cards that have that kind of title to them. But not bad. This is a card I'd love to see as a playmat. It looks like a zombified, like, what is it, a Stegosaurus Rex? Is that the one with that big like shield on its head? Or a Triceratops, that's what I'm thinking of. It looks like the back of it looks Triceratops. Maybe it's my angle.
It's just weird.
It's super funky
so
looking.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
I
got
love
like
the
tusks
art in this.
Yeah.
They have the best designs for creatures.
Absolutely. It's like gruesome and right on the brink of like hellish, but it's not quite
still
like
somehow family friendly.
Yeah, and it's not like it says it's a demon, but it doesn't look like a demon. Like you think of a demon and you think of like Dungeons and Dragons and this red skin thing with a tail and horns, and this is just some concoction of whatever. Like I can't even describe what this thing actually is.
For sure. And I think that might have been the last new leak.
Last new leak? Sounds pretty good. As always, let us know what you guys think. I know we're going to go into more topics, but if you guys have any opinions on these cards or think that we missed any important factors of these new releases, let us know. We're definitely interested to see what the community thinks of these new leaks and what other synergies can be found that we're probably going to miss. But we're going to move on and try to cover some other topics. I know you said you saw a Crucible cast.
The Crucible cast from today. They didn't leak anything. They kind of, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the way they did it because they're like, oh, at the end of this video, we got some big news. At the end of the video, they're like, come back on the 26th for that big news.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, they kind of advertised their advertisement.
Yeah, that's a little cringy.
But
honestly.
On the 26th of September,
I think that's what you said.
They're having an FFG live, and Richard Garfield's going to be with them to announce something big.
The fact that Garfield's going to be there changes the game. Like, I feel like this is going to be one of the biggest announcements Keyforge has made yet, just by Garfield being there.
Yeah, because, he's been largely uninvolved since
the release.
Yeah, since he conceptualized it.
Right.
But, I don't know. I feel like it's got to be something not just about the next set, just something about the game in general.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit before the start, and I agree. I don't think it has to do with set 4 or even set 3. I don't think there's anything like that. Like they're rolling out set 3 reveals, and set 4 feels a little too far in the future for them to start announcing anything for. So
I would I think the way they're excited about it, it makes me kind of think it might be online play, like maybe an official version of the Crucible Online.
Yep.
But part of me is hesitant because I want that, but I also don't want that because of how new the game is. I don't want it to cannibalize the paper game.
You want it to be done. You want it to be done right, but you don't want your community and your local scene to stop showing up because now they can just go online and play at home instead of showing up to their LGS and playing there. We definitely want to see the paper community grow. And there's always a risk with that whenever, even for Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic, Duel Links came out, and now MTG Arena's out, and I'm sure it hasn't made too much of a dent, but there is some risk factor you have to account for when releasing an online version of a in-person game.
Well, from what I hear with MTG Arena, the big problem isn't that people have stopped playing paper, it's that Wizards has put more of their resources into supporting Arena
over paper.
rather than paper. Like, I know
Right.
local game stores are kind of in the worst situation they've been with Wizards
It's been a while.
since Arena has come out, because I mean, business wise, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's totally fair. From Wizards' perspective, that's exactly the right play.
They're making free money.
Exactly.
They have to put out digital aesthetics
Right.
and get people to pay for
But
it.
for those of you who did play Paper Magic and probably still do, now it's like every time you get a paycheck, it's, do I want to go buy cards for my standard deck? Do I want to go buy cards for my EDH deck? Or do I want to go buy packs in Arena? And a lot of people are going to go to Arena because they might not have the time or the schedule to go to the tournaments. And yes, exactly. I was going to say that
it's
next.
got
I was going to say that
streaming's pretty big.
Yeah, it's popular and it's a growing industry. Like, gaming is a great industry, but streaming specifically is ever growing for the past 10, 12 years at least. And it's gotten easier over time. Now it's so much easier to get your streaming setup done, and buying a webcam and configuring everything that's significantly simplified by the industry. And MTGA is Wizards' way of trying to take their piece of that pie, and I just hope Keyforge is making themselves aware of the risk of putting an online game out in comparison to the paper game.
If that's even what it is.
If that's even what it is, right? My thought too is September seems like it's like that golden window of time to make an announcement for something for the holidays.
Yeah.
I don't know what it could be. I mean, being just set 3 coming out in November, that's kind of like the holiday thing right now. But they could have some kind of special packaging. You know, you might get a limited time playmat with some limited time keys or amber. There might be some kind of bundle packages, like a good holiday Christmas gift or something like that.
I mean, I've been saying it forever. Just the way Keyforge is designed, they could do so many things that just other games and card games don't have the ability to do. Like, for all we know, and this is like literally shot in the dark, I don't think this is happening, but they could just be like, hey, we have a Christmas set. In December, it's just a random algorithm and it's all Christmas themed cards.
Right.
And it wouldn't affect anything.
Mm-hmm. Or they could even say like, hey, we're gonna re-release set 1 as a Christmas theme, so all the artwork's different, but the card texts are still the same.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's their way of re-releasing cards without infringing on the value of actual set 1.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a pseudo set 1.5 almost. That would be interesting. Or they could do a Christmas special where it's like,
you go to an event and you get a special
deck
like
to
that's
play
how
with.
you get the decks.
They do a sealed event, and all
Yeah.
the decks from the sealed event are like a Christmas edition event. Maybe they aren't legal for actual tournament play. I don't think it would matter much, but overall, I think that's another. I want to say it's a decent guess out to what it could be. Something holiday
I don't know
related,
if that's
something
like
festive.
an announcement at the caliber of like, oh, let's get Richard Garfield
That's
to be able
fair.
to talk about it.
That's true too. The online thing definitely would.
It has to be something, I feel,
Summon
involving like the game,
Yeah.
like the way the game is played or the game itself. Because
Or the progression of the game as a whole.
I know at the beginning he said that they did design the game with the idea that it would be played online at one point. So that's why my guess is kind of that.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, these are all kind of shots in the dark. I think the online one is the one that makes the most sense, but is also not really any more concrete than any of our other guesses. So.
Yeah.
But you know, again, if you guys think anything different, or if you have any guesses as to what it could be, then let us know too. Because if you spark our interest, that might be something that we talk about in the future. If someone has something that seems like it's a really concrete. A concrete shot in the dark is what I'll call it.
I mean, I'm just stoked on the game.
Yeah, the fact that Garfield's showing up to do a reveal, doesn't matter what it's gonna be. Like, we know it's gonna be big and significant, and that's enough to excite us. And I'm looking forward to it.
I agree. You wanna talk about Sealed at all? We do a lot of spoils and like news and stuff. But do you wanna?
Yeah, we can talk
about gameplay. We have a Sealed event today, like we said earlier. Our locals is going to be giving away one of the Sanctum playmats to the winner.
mats. Yep.
And we don't do Sealed too often, but
yeah, every couple months we'll do a sealed tournament. A lot of people do like to play Archon more than Sealed. I know most of my closest friends that I've played other card games with in the past, they like their Archon decks. They like being able to pick what they're gonna play, and I know some of them really just don't like the idea of being screwed over by a bad deck.
Yeah.
And that's not something to be taken lightly. I understand like getting a crappy deck and having to play with it all day long just doesn't feel great, but I don't know. I'm excited for it. I think Sealed's gonna be fun today. Hopefully it goes well. As long as I don't get anything in the 60s, I don't care how I do. It's just like if I pull a 65 deck, I'm just gonna drop. No, not really, but it's just a little underwhelming.
I like Sealed because of that reason, though, because maybe it's a deck you wouldn't open up and play.
Yeah, it
and
forces
you could be
you to mess with
surprised
something.
by, like, maybe you have a 77 that ends up being better than an 85 you have.
Right, or that you at least enjoy more and understand. And I mean, that's the thing. The pilot plays a role in the deck's success as well. It's not just the deck, and that's what's so unique about this game is like anybody can go on Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh and net deck an exact 60 or 40 card deck, but they still have to play it to its fullest. But this is both worlds. You have to play your deck to your fullest, but you don't get to take notes from another player.
Yeah.
You don't get to look at online matches to the same degree. I mean, you can still watch games online and learn new synergies, but you don't get to watch tournament play to the same level that other card games do and be like, I'm just going to copy paste that and try to learn all these specific interactions. Like, your deck is your deck. So I like it in that aspect as well.
I also feel like a lot of people do get hung up on, like, the ratings.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of that too. Like, I'm really, like, very picky. And I mean, I've bought in a few boxes by now. I know my highest rated deck's only an 86, and only might sound like a lot to you guys, but I know Tyler's got a deck in the 90s. Some of our other friends have a deck that's like right at that 90 mark.
Yeah, but
and that doesn't matter to some extent. I know we were talking about that too.
Like, I have, like, my deck's in the 90s, like, I don't know, I've been playing one that's rated 90 SAS, and it's got like a 67 AERC, like, it's very high.
Yeah, that sounds
And
amazing.
I've been doing okay with it, but I like it, to me.
Do you feel like you haven't been enjoying it
I've
as
been
much as other
enjoying
decks?
it. It's probably just variance because I've only played like 6 games with it.
Okay.
Like in tournament, outside of tournament, I just always stomp. So it is probably just variance.
Yeah.
But I have a deck. I think it's like 79. But
Yeah.
that's the deck that I started playing when Chainbound came out, and
Mhm.
it has 13 chains on it.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
it's got a phenomenal record, and recently I've thought about even trying to get it to power level 4, because currently the highest chained deck is 21, and it is technically possible to get 22. I think it would be really cool to be the person who hits 22 first.
Right, and it's all based on how many chains you walk into the tournament with. There's a lot of like not a lot, but there's some factor involved and some luck into getting that 22nd.
Oh, if I try to
Chain,
get to 22, it's going to be hard.
It's a grind, yeah.
Not only do I have to play with the chains, but like because for those of you who don't know, you can't enter a chainbound tournament with power level 4 or higher deck.
Mm-hmm.
So at 13 chains or more, you have power level 3. So I would need to go
All the way up to 18.
3-0 or 4-0 in a tournament, or get 3 or 4 chains, or 2. I'd have to stagger them in a way
You'd have to
that I end up at 18.
Right, the
and
tournament
then I
has to
play in
end
a 4-round tournament
and go for
and
it.
go 4-0 to get to 22. And that's the thing. Yeah, I have to get to 18 and then win a 4-round chainbound event.
Undefeated, yeah.
Undefeated.
Right, and the thing with that is like once a month maybe we'll have a tournament that ends up being 4 rounds. So you'd have to get to that 18th
It's
chain.
been getting better lately.
Yeah, it has
I feel
improved.
like our last month has been a solid amount of people every week.
For the most part, yeah. I know there was
for
one
a
week where
while
there
we
was
had
like
like
6 or
6
7,
people
but
showing up, and now it feels like it's been like
almost 10 or at 10.
we had
roughly.
14 that one week.
For the first playmat, or no?
For
That
the,
wasn't the
yeah, no,
playmat,
for the
was it?
playmat. That might have even been 15 because we had a
I think
bye.
it was 15, yeah.
And then we had like 10 people just for a random night.
Mm-hmm.
I think tonight's going to be a pretty good outcome.
I agree. I think it's
We've
gonna be great.
we've been getting like newer people. Like I know tonight, one of my buddies who I used to play Magic with, I got him interested in it because I was like, man, you don't have to have any upkeep.
Yep.
Like you could walk away from the game for a while and come back, and your decks are still there. They're the same. They might be just as good or
You don't
better.
have to upgrade anything. Yeah. My girlfriend's playing tonight.
And he wants to come and play sealed because he had some time off work and he was playing with me and learning a bunch of stuff.
Nice.
Just randomly, and
That's very cool.
he's coming. And then another guy who works for the same company I do but a different store, he's probably going to come tonight. So
Nice. That's exciting. So with them two and Savannah and the regular crowd, I mean, we're looking at least 10 people probably, at least.
We're trying to build a mittens for the store championship because they announced it has to be 16 people to get the amber.
Right, we can have the tournament for the mat regardless, but we want to get that amber bonus out of it.
Yeah, that's the
whole
idea.
It's like 5 times amber or something, isn't it? Yeah, that's insanity.
And, I mean, just in general, too, it'd be cool to have higher turnouts every week.
Mm-hmm. And we did, like I said, but that one tournament was 15. So, like, it would be the first tournament we had 16 people and caused... Is it 17 to cause a 5th round, or is it...
No, you can't get a 5th round in Chainbound.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
No matter how many people there are, it's always 3 or 4.
Gotcha.
So, 8 or less will be 3 rounds, and then 9 or more will be 4. And that's to stop, like, higher population areas from...
Right.
I assume. I don't actually know.
If you live in Miami and have a 7-round tournament, you get a bunch of amber out of it, and
7
other people
chains.
don't get a chance. Yeah. Definitely.
But, yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I want to hit 22 chains with that deck.
Do it.
I mean, someone put up the stats. I think only something like 150 decks in that range have power level 3, have 13 chains or more.
Wow.
I remember when I was one of 6.
Yeah, that was...
Because when I hit 13, I was one of 6, and I was like, man, I'm going to be the first person to get to power level 4. And then, I forget his name now, but I knew it for a minute. He ended up...
right before you.
Yeah, he hit it like... Before I went to an event with... Or I went to an event with him, I went 2-2. And I didn't change my chains. And he got it that week. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to...
Be the second guy.
I'm going to put this away now. Because playing with that many less cards every turn.
Yeah, it hurts. And when you're... It's interesting because Keyforge is the only game where you actually can do something like that. And you feel like you're competing at this tournament, but you're competing against other people all over the world.
Yeah, it's like a layered type of competition.
Right. It's like in fighting games, there's a ranking system across the board. You know what I mean?
Like, it's like, yeah, I'm playing against these 8 people here, but I'm also like
trying to
like make my deck. Like, even if I don't get the fame, I want people to like look at this deck online and be like, oh man, that's... There's someone, I actually made this post in the Keyforge group, and someone said that he was playing my deck on the Crucible.
Oh wow.
Because he had like looked it up on decks at Keyforge and he really liked it.
Nice.
I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah, that makes you feel a little... It's heartwarming a little bit. You're like, oh man, nice. People actually want to play this deck.
It is a pretty cool deck. I like it a lot. It's called Beast Pact Spawn of Sunmaw. If anyone wants to look it up. So, Beast Pact Spawn of Sunmaw.
Nice.
It has 13 chains. It's got an okay record. I think it's like 6 losses and like 15 wins. Something like that.
Very nice.
But it's nothing crazy. It's got Time Traveler in it. It's got Speed Sigil. It's got the Sting and a Key Charge. It's just a lot of little elements that work together really well. It's not like a huge combo deck.
Right, nothing that synergizes
very
like
fast.
Super across the board. That's cool. Speed Sigil sounds great with Time Traveler and all that. And the Sting.
The thing that I really like doing with Speed Sigil is I have a Smiling Ruth.
Ooh.
So when Speed Sigil's out, after I forge a key, I just drop her and take something.
I have a deck with Speed Sigil and Smiling Ruth as well. It's insane. It's
very fun.
Yeah.
And Sting with Key Charges.
Yeah, as we know.
Gravy.
Gravy, indeed.
Sting is just a great card. Did I tell you, my one buddy who just started playing, he bought a set 2 deck, and it has a Sting and 2 Night Forges.
Yes.
With a bunch of like stealing and amber control. And I was like, he's like, I don't know if I like this. And I was like, no, dude, you start playing with this and you learn how to do it, and it's going to take you places.
Glad I don't have to deal with that today at Sealed then.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, I think
that covers most of what we wanted to talk about today.
For sure.
Any other add-ins or last-minute announcements?
No, I think next week we'll have a good topic for you. We'll let you know how we did at Sealed. And
can I do an announcement?
Yeah, sure.
It's not a big announcement. It's actually more of just like an advertisement. But I've been trying to do this for a few weeks and I keep forgetting to do it. We have a local friend of mine who owns a coffee company, and we wanted to promote it with him. It's called Artsan Coffee, Artsan. He gets really phenomenal artwork. The bags all look really great. I've already tried a few of the flavors. He's got the standard ones. I don't remember the names of standard coffee. I'm boring, but I know he has like peanut butter and jelly. He's got like a bunch of funky flavors like that. He has a maple syrup one. I believe it's maple syrup or just maple, something like that. But maple bacon, that's what it is. Yeah, thank you.
I imagine by standard you mean like dark roast, light roast.
Yes, yeah, all the basic flavors you'd expect to get at any of your generic coffee shops. But yeah, there's some basic flavors, some very unique, interesting flavors, and all of it that I've tried so far is great. Like I don't drink coffee a lot, but I drink it often enough to be a little picky about my coffee, and I haven't been like grossed out by any of it. So Arts on Coffee, check it out online. Next week I'll try to get you guys a coupon code. I know he has a couple codes that'll give you 10% off your first order. So I'll try to talk to him through the week and get that for you. But go check it out, look it up online. I'm sure you can Google it. I don't know if there's a direct website for it or if he just has it on a like a Shopify link or something like that. I'll get more details, but I wanted to bring that up to you guys. It is a local business that he runs. I mean, he ships it. He will ship it online. There's no like storefront. It's mostly all online sales, but he is local to our area. Yeah, art-san, if you need to. Don't forget that hyphen in there. It's supposed to be like a play on artisan coffee, but it's art-san because of the artwork. There it is.
It is just a artsancoffee.com.
Awesome. Artsancoffee.com. You don't need the hyphen in that URL either, but there is s'mores we see on the front page.
Yeah, I'm on the website right now.
Cookies and cream. There's a German chocolate that's pretty good.
They have a 4-ounce bag sampler. You get 5 of them.
Yep.
That's like a good deal to get right in.
Yep. Pick 5 flavors, try them all out, and then go back and get a big bag of the one that you actually like the most. But there's a handful of flavors on there, and we just wanted to promote that to him and give him a shout out. He's another fellow Keyforge player. He doesn't attend tournaments too often, but he does have some decks and.
Well, I mean, he's a busy guy.
Yeah, he is a very busy. He works a full time. Yeah, he works a full time job. He's got this going on. So on top of everything, I mean, he doesn't get out to play too much, but he's a super good friend of mine, and I'm sure he'd love to see some sales coming from all you guys in the community. So go check out his website and give him some revenue.
And you know what? If you guys like it, maybe we talk to him and we do some sort of like gift card giveaway or something.
Yeah, definitely. We could do something for. I already know when we do some YouTube subs. I think when we get 100 subs, we're gonna do a giveaway for one of my triple Cutthroat research decks. But maybe at the 250 mark, we can get a gift card for an online purchase of some coffee or something like that.
Or we just do giveaway in general. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we're gonna...
No promises, but we'll do some cool stuff.
Yeah, there will be giveaways, but there is no set timeline for so. Do not hold us to anything. We're not liable to give anything away until we decide we want to.
I'll give away all the free hugs you want.
Free hugs.
If we're at a vault tour and you see me, I'm a very cuddly person.
Great ending. I think that's a perfect way to wrap it up.
All right.
We'll see you guys next time.
Keep on forging.
We out.